For all you vegans out there who want to visit South Korea, look what I found! I found some vegan jerky for you! But I'm not vegan, so I'm going to eat some of this other stuff. Like and follow for more! South Korea makes the best waffles, y'all. Seriously, Korea seems to take the standard waffle and make it into a delicious dessert. This is the cutest table bell in South Korea. Wait for it. Now here's something that you won't see very often in South Korea, and that's pregnant women. I'm serious. I know that it's because South Korea has the lowest birth rate in the world. People in South Korea aren't getting married and they're definitely not having children. And I actually did make a full YouTube video before about the fact that South Korea has the lowest birth rate in the world and some of the interesting things that the Korean government is trying to do to help encourage couples to have children. My husband and I are not having children. We're old. But I thought it was really interesting because the first thing I noticed when I moved here is that you just don't see pregnant women. And I really don't see that many small children either. I mean, I know they're here, obviously, because there's a lot of English teachers that come here to teach English to Korean students. But it's just one of those things that you'll walk around after you live here for a while and you'll notice there aren't that many pregnant women, but there are pregnant women parking spots. Last night, my husband and I stayed in this wonderful hotel in Pohang, South Korea. We decided to come here so we can do a surprise TikTok live for our viewers, so stay tuned for that. This room was amazing. This is actually known as one of South Korea's love motels. You can rent by the hour or you can rent for the whole night. This was a weekday, so we got this fabulous VIP room for under $60. It came with a full computer and a massage chair, which I cannot tell you how much time my husband and I spent in it. And the best part is it also has, wait for it, a jacuzzi bathtub. And yes, we both used that last night as well. Isn't it amazing? I highly recommend that you check this hotel out. Weekends are, of course, much more expensive, but weekday, this is definitely worth the money. Like and follow for more. Morning, y'all. Okay, I'm sorry. I just woke up. I was asked an interesting question and I wanted to answer it real fast. So excuse my face. But someone asked me if my husband had to serve in the military, because as you know, here in South Korea, all young men have to join the military because technically South Korea is still at war. However, my husband did not have to join the military. And the reason why is when, as most of you know, my husband is 54 years old. When he was younger, there was a larger population of young men. South Korea had a normal birth rate. So there were lots of young men to join the military. And so when they did a draft, my husband's number just never came up. However, today, because South Korea has the lowest birth rate in the world and it's continued to decline for many years now, there is not enough young men to join the military. So every young man has to join the military in South Korea. But my husband never did because his number just never came up. Okay, you guys, I was just getting ready to take a shower here in South Korea, and I have to tell you something. I still, for the life of me, cannot figure out why in South Korea the towels are this big. Dude, this is a hand towel in America. I know you can't quite see in the camera, but I'm telling you, it is the size of the towels that we dry our hands with when we go to our friend's house and wash our hands in the bathroom. This is the towel size that is all over Korea, in apartments, in hotel rooms, everywhere. This is why I'm glad I brought a normal size towel from America, because you can't fit your hair around this little towel. Global. So this Hanu beef is $130. Yeah. This is $146. It's just beef. In Korea, it's Hanu beef. This is Hanu beef, but beef in Korea is really expensive. Ribeye. This ribeye is. I know. Oh my god. Good morning, y'all. Okay, so there is one thing I wanted to let you know in case you're coming to visit South Korea or move here. When it comes to going to a restaurant, you might have heard about this, but the first time I came to South Korea, I had no idea. when you go out to eat at a South Korean restaurant, they are not going to bring you your bill. There's almost always a cash register near the front door that you go to pay. It doesn't matter how fancy the restaurant is. 99% of the time, there's going to be a register at the front area. So don't wait at your table for someone to bring you your check, because it will never happen. And I have made this mistake many times, and I've waited forever for someone to bring me my check. So now you know, when you come to South Korea and you go to a restaurant, look for the register to pay or you're never leaving. Yep, he left my purse there unattended the whole time, but that's how safe South Korea is. You can leave my purse like that, and then we could walk down Costco and just leave this here for a while and no one would touch my bag. Isn't that crazy? So I recently heard another TikToker here in South Korea mention this, and I have to mention it too because I just ran into this problem this week. So something else you need to know about South Korea if you're planning on moving here or living here for a while is that in Korea, everything has your full name. Your last name first, then your first name and your middle name, the whole thing. In South Korea, Korean names are usually only 3 syllables. So all the documentation and spaces on computer programs, blah, 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 only have room for a few characters. So I ran into a lot of problems because I'm hoping that in the near future, I can possibly go visit my family in America. Something my husband and I were looking into is the fact that we would actually have to print our COVID vaccine documentation. But in order to do that, I ran into a ton of trouble because my name is pretty long when you have to put your first, middle, and last name all together. So I had to go to the bank, get another form of proof of identity. I don't know. It's a whole thing. And every time I sign documents in South Korea, I have to do my full name. It's really annoying. So when you come to South Korea, don't be surprised, especially if your name has more than 3 syllables. It might be a small challenge. One of the things that often confuses me in South Korea is that the police always leave their emergency lights on. Not the sirens, but the emergency lights. And being an American coming to South Korea, I am used to the police only having their lights on when they want you to pull over or they need to go past because there's an emergency. Currently, these police are just going back to their headquarters, which is just up the street. Like and follow for more. Okay, excuse the fact that I don't have any makeup on this morning. I'm cleaning, but I needed to tell you something interesting about South Korea. Did you know that this is a prescription in South Korea? That's right. If you want aspirin, you have to get a prescription. Now, I brought this with me from America years ago when I moved here. But you can get Tylenol and similar things like that over the counter. But if you want aspirin, you got to get yourself a prescription. Weird, right? My husband and I went down to this really cute carnival near Susongmot, which is Suseong Lake in South Korea. Let's see if we win anything. Clearly, my husband isn't quite as good at this game as I thought he would be. For about $10, they gave us 4 sets of these darts to try. I decided that it would be my turn to give it a go since he's not doing as great as I had anticipated. Let's see how I do. I definitely did better than he did once I figured out I just needed to be at an angle. So let's see what we won. First, she pulled out several different options for us to choose from. If you watch the live, you already know which one I chose. This little blue guy, and guess what? He plays music. Like and follow for more. Okay, something else I wanted to tell you that I haven't mentioned in a while is when you come visit South Korea or move here, it's good to know. Almost all the light fixtures are on the outside of the room you want to go into instead of inside the room. So here's my bathroom door, and as you can see, the light to the bathroom is on the outside of the door. So when you come to South Korea and you can't figure out how to turn the lights on, now you know! Yesterday, my husband and I did a TikTok live while trying screen golf in South Korea for the first time. Oh my God, is this the funnest thing ever? You get your own room and a huge screen to play golf on. This was my first time ever trying to play golf, so I'm really glad that we got to do a live so you guys got to see that humiliation for the first time. The room was lovely. And one of the nice things also is that they have a menu and you can order food directly to your room if you want. Like and follow for more. If you ever find yourself in Daegu, South Korea, I definitely recommend this restaurant called Susan Galbi. I come here often because I just love her side dishes. She always makes wonderful side dishes and I love them all. The other thing is that this is lunchtime, and at lunchtime, it's really popular, so we have to come right at noon in hopes that she still has food left, because often she runs out at lunchtime. Her most popular lunch is, of course, 된장찌개, which, if you've ever followed me before, you know is my absolute favorite Korean food. Like and follow for more. Last night, my husband and I went to this beautiful light show down at Suseong-mot, which is Suseong Lake in Daegu, South Korea. You can tell my husband was having lots of fun. This was a great exhibition all around the lake. There were so many beautiful lights. In fact, there were so many, if you guys are interested, I might need to do a part 2 of this video because I just couldn't fit it all on my TikTok video today. I had a wonderful time doing a TikTok live during this event, and I hope you guys did too. Like and follow for more about South Korea. My husband and I went down to the carnival near Suseong Lake to see what we could win and what we could play. Obviously in Korea, as you probably already know, there are lots of claw machines. They are pretty addicting. My husband decided to give one a try. Let's see how it went. I think you can already imagine. On his first try, it was pretty obvious that this machine was not going to give us our toy. Not that we need it anymore, but can you ever really have too many plushies? That was a bummer. But my husband does try one more time. I told you these machines are addictive. Well, I guess you can't win them all. Like and follow for more.